Someone say something funny for the beginning, then I'll just hit the intro screen.
Don't look at me.
Back once again to the Renegade Master. People, we are back. Jussie P in the house. Mr. Controlled Opposition Hate Speech in the house. In a week when Gemini AI has been racist, some grandmas have been having it large in Northern Ireland, possibly yours. Leo's got a fascinating novel Conor McGregor story.
And a new sex toy by the look of it.
And a new sex toy by his mic.
It's called the Blue Yeti.
Well, why is it white? That's racist.
Yeah.
It's just
and why does
it's
it
called
exist?
a Blue Yeti, but this one's white.
Well, what's so good about it?
It's got blue written on it. It identifies as blue. Its colour pronoun blue.
Why is it circumcised?
It
looks like a
Do you not know what's good about it?
Yeah,
I saw Nick Dixon using one, so I thought, well, he must have done the research. So
all you need now is a table to put it on. Just hold it.
But like, if I put it on the table, like this is why we need to move house. Like my wife's in my studio, which doesn't seem to be my studio very often. It seems to be her office, and so I need a house. So I've got somewhere to sit and work and stuff because I'm sitting on the couch right now. My back's screwed. My back's screwed
is it?
from
No.
sitting on a couch and typing all the time.
Oh man, my back's so bad. I've got my arms folded. It's the only way I can get comfortable.
Like Bruce Lee.
But is this a wife thing? Do you ever do this thing? Has this ever happened to you two? Have you ever come home and there's just like a pile of your stuff on the table and you go, what's that doing there? And then she goes through it going, what can I throw away? It's like, what? Why have I got to justify keeping stuff? Is that just my ex? Have you ever had that?
Yeah, all the fucking time.
Yeah, why do they do that?
Yeah, and also just moving stuff. Just moving. I'll be like, where's my jacket? And it's like, I moved it there. And it's like, it's not any tidier over here. You just moved it.
Yeah. No, but they do. It's like, it turns into sort of like a trial where you've got to like defend keeping people in the lifeboat or something. They're like, what about this trophy you won at rugby? It's like, yeah, I want to keep it. She's like, why? It's like, just because I won it. I want to keep it.
Sentimental memories. But you live out in Norwich or something. You must have like a massive house and stuff.
Yeah, you must have a mansion.
Ranch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got those white fences out the front for horses. You know, those special horse fences.
Oh wait,
are you lying?
Yeah, I live in a terraced fucking Victorian. Well, I get told off for eating. This cunt starts doing dentistry on himself. That's disgusting, mate.
Look how nice my teeth look.
They actually do look bad. How much was that?
Is that whitening?
No, it's Invisalign to. I've got a new dental tip. So this is Invisalign to straighten it. My teeth are pretty straight anyway. If any of you suffer from tartar or plaque on the back of your teeth and also whitening, here's how you get rid of it. So I used to get plaque build up just at the back. It really used to annoy me because you have to go to a hygienist. So here's how you fix your teeth, right? When you've come to the end of a Listerine bottle, so like you've got about that much left, leave that much in the Listerine, so like that much, so you've got like a flavour. Half fill it up, or 3/4 of the way with water. Then you need peroxide, 2% or whatever the low one is that's safe for humans. Don't use a.
Are you making a pipe bomb?
No, I'm telling you how to keep your teeth nice and clean.
Tell me how to get arrested by Homeland Security.
Yeah.
But tweet that men aren't women. Now and then so you get the peroxide, put the peroxide in, then crucially 2 scoops of baking soda.
No one's going to do this, but carry on.
They will. And
then it's fucking convoluted, mate. It's not Wally Horn in disguise.
Yeah, it's like George's Marvelous Medicine.
All right, it's just peroxide and baking soda and water.
Is that all?
Yeah. And then
peroxide in your mouth?
Yeah, but you dilute
peroxide
it.
Like a hardcore
Never
bleach.
done him any harm.
You're like the fucking Clapham acid attacker.
Listen,
you got nice white teeth, but you can't focus on anything for more than 10 seconds.
Listen, my teeth are nice. It's double white in your teeth, and if your missus annoys you, bam in her face, then whatever. Then you might get found at the bottom of the river. That it's gone quiet, right? That's a story that's gone quiet.
Yeah, man. You know what was funny about when they were searching for his body in the river? It's like they were finding all these other bodies.
Other bodies. And stop searching.
That's just the state of London now. You're just like, you go, look in a hedge or whatever. Yeah, there's some fucking bodies in there.
But they stopped searching because, but that's like going, oh look, there's some money in that wishing well, and then you jump in and you pull out loads of money and go, I've got loads of money, I'm going to stop now. You'd carry on, wouldn't you?
But they
But
found
surely
him.
finding bodies is good. You don't stop.
Did they find him or not?
They found a body they think is his.
Man.
No, because his fucking eye was hanging out, wasn't it?
Might have been eaten by fishes though by that time if he'd been in the water.
Yeah,
Do you know what?
Way in for the crabs.
So he threw alkali.
Yeah, caustic soda, I think. My dad used to use caustic soda because he was a gunsmith.
Darius puts it on his teeth.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, maybe he. So if someone, because you know, like with like quacks, would like those sort of people that would have crystals to go, oh, you're eating too much acid. You need some alkali.
Yeah.
So,
and then they say, you know what they say? They say that acidic foods or foods that cause acid are actually alkali foods. So it's all arse about.
That's what I'm saying. So if it's an antidote, can we give the guy the benefit of the doubt? Maybe he thought, no,
I'm not giving an.
No, I don't want to make a drink.
I'm not giving the acid attacker the benefit of the doubt.
No, but you know, he could have been trying to unacid someone. Just
no.
So if someone threw acid in someone's face, and then you threw alkali, would it cancel out?
No,
red wine and what?
So if you get two Islamists at the same time, and
we don't know that he was that, Leo.
Yeah, we do. And I mean that might not be wide, but there's a sort of Venn diagram there. Acid attackers. There's like the only person who's not an Islam is Claudia Webb. Was it Claudia Webb? What's her name? That former Labour MP who like sent that message like, I'm going to acid you.
I don't know that.
And she's the MP for Leicester. And she's so thick. She was getting interviewed about Belarus, and she was calling it Beirut.
That's all right. Why Leo? You're the only political person I know. Why do Labour hate Jewish people so much?
Well, during the Corbyn years, they got a huge amount of support. The sort of Muslim vote replaced the sort of white working class vote.
That's a very
85% of Muslims voted for Labour. Not that I'm saying there's any sort of long-standing enmity between Jews and Muslims or anything. That's obviously not all Muslims hashtag and stuff like that. But the other thing is that Labour and all socialists just instinctively hate anyone who's successful. So you can see all the anti-white stuff and all this sort of neo-communist woke propaganda, and Jews are seen as the whitest of the white because they're like one of the most successful groups because they got a culture of studying, working hard.
In my opinion, Jewish people are almost as white as Chinese people. Not quite, but almost as white as Chinese people.
It's funny you say that because like over in Indonesia, have you been over and done those gigs in like Jakarta and stuff? So talking to the promoter there, he was telling me about when it all kicked off in Indonesia and they had the people were getting killed, businesses were getting burnt and stuff, and they were killing the Chinese. They're burning all the Chinese businesses because he said Chinese are seen like seen as the sort of Jews over there. They've sort of like they've started these businesses. They're really successful, and then so people resent them.
Do you think then? I would imagine, based on nothing, that I bet that Muslim communities have got a high percentage of turning out to vote. I don't know why I think that.
Don't know.
No, but
I think because they don't drink.
No, all those kind of communities have a high turnout because so do the Jewish community. Because
it's just us honkies can't be bothered, isn't it? Got something else to do.
No, it's true, and young people can't. Basically, that's why they pander to these demographics because they've got large voting powers. So in America, the reason why America supports Israel so much isn't necessarily because of the Jewish people themselves. It's because of the ultra right-wing Christian Zionists who believe that once Israel has the entire thing of Israel, they'll be killed and Jesus will come back. But it's a nice arrangement for them. But basically, young people
with the what do they call it? It's when the world ends and they get beamed up and stuff.
Revelation.
Is it Revelation? It's something like that.
Rapture.
The rapture. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they believe that.
I've allowed Jesus Christ into my heart quite recently.
My mum would like that.
Yeah, but she would. Except I don't want to dig anyone out. But I've been looking into Roman Catholicism, and I think they might be Satanists.
Who?
Yeah, I really do think that. Do you know
What?
that they didn't adopt Christ until 300 years after they'd killed him? So they've just used him.
Well, you know what? Funnily enough, my mum, who's the most Catholic of all, thinks the Pope is the Antichrist. So now she doesn't.
Can I just
She's got
say,
some
obviously,
bad conspiracy theories. Oh, the Pope is the
no, but this is how
he's-
conspiracy theories work. Not every Catholic is a Satanist. They believe that but their church, the Vatican City, whatever, they adopted Christ. They've adopted Christ and gone, oh yeah, we're good, but. I don't think they are. But the people, this is how conspiracies work. Oh, what are you telling me all the people that work for the NHS knew the vaccine? No, they didn't know. They did it in good faith. And it's like Catholics aren't Satanists, but I think that, like your mum, I agree with her. See, I'm saying in it. The Pope is the Antichrist.
That's actually what my mum says.
Did you see they discovered a couple of new vaccine side effects this week? They say they're incredibly rare. So it's some sort of encephalitis and inflammation of the spinal cord. But it's only affects like 1 in a million people that got the vaccine. But it's funny that they discovered it, and even like just saying there could be side effects was like a far right conspiracy theory just like a year ago.
Well, you know what? It's interesting. That's all come out just this week. Like we had Rishi Sunak. It's like, why are they bringing out? Remember, you couldn't say anything. Then this week, suddenly there's Rishi Sunak being questioned, and I've got all these side effects, acknowledging them, and then it's got drip, drip, drip coming out. I wonder why. Why now?
Well, I heard that Pfizer or Moderna or both, they put a signature in the. Have you ever heard this?
Oh, yeah.
There's a signature in the proteins on the surface, so they can tell. I don't know. That is some sort of tracking.
I trust those medical companies implicitly.
Yeah.
I trust their signatures that they're putting in DNA and protein spikes. Oh my god, I trust them. Why?
Well, that's what Monsanto did.
I mean, look how corporations act. Corporations always act in your best interest. Look at Google AI. Look at the Gemini AI. It's everything. Corporations are just looking out for you.
Yeah,
we're talking about Google AI. I went on it and I asked it to generate a picture of this free speech podcast, and it generated this image for us. So I think that's
Ollie's not bad.
yeah,
they got Ollie right.
He hasn't got a tattoo on his upper arm.
Which one's which? Who's who? That's me.
You're that one at the back.
No, I'm the one with the long
left.
hair. Yeah, I'm the one on the left.
Of course you are.
Leo's
James Corden.
I'm the one with the hair.
Yeah, James Corden's mooch.
I'm not in this, am I?
How many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Leo could be front, bottom right, looking lovely in his brown vest.
The high top kid and play guide looks like no one, or is that a girl actually?
That can be you.
Is that so? This is the thing. What people are saying is that an example of that is quite blurred. Apart from 2,
okay. Well,
I mean 3.
Hold on. Let's
2 of them are quite blurred gender-wise, aren't they? 3 of them.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going for. But let's tell the story.
About what's on the screen right now?
No, I've got.
Yeah.
Let's tell the story.
Darren is clearly a woman.
For those who don't know, Google have been creating their own AI, and it allows you to generate images. So people have been going like, show me an image of Romans, or Vikings or whatever, and it refuses to show even one white person. So, for example, it said, show me an image of a ginger person, and this is what it came up with.
They're not just like, they didn't just make them black, and you don't really get many black ginger people, but it made them like transgender as well.
And it just refuses, and then people, and then
I bet if you said, mate, show me an image of an evil person, they'd be white.
Yeah, it does that.
Actually, it does.
Like they tested that. It does that. The ways you can get it to show white people is like if you ask for like an evil wizard or an evil witch, then it'll show like a white witch or a white wizard. And also, if you ask for a situation that would be racist if it was black people doing it, So if you ask it to do like a family eating fried chicken, then it shows white people because it would be racist.
I don't get it. I
Because
don't
it's like
understand. I don't speak the language of bigotry, so I don't even know what that could possibly mean. Makes no sense.
Someone got Google Gemini to generate a 1940s German leader. Came up with this.
Fuck, that looks like my old landlord, Mr. Sowell, when I lived in Nottingham. That's exactly what he didn't have a Nazi uniform on, but that's exactly what he looked like.
He's a rent Nazi.
He's the same. I used to have a pound coin electric meter.
No, but
Yeah.
come on, look. So they said, show us an image of your founding father. I'm a, come on now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on now. It's a picture of George Washington. It's like a Netflix remake, just George Washington fucking being played by Denzel Washington. Or who found America? Was it George Washington? I don't fucking know.
Found or founded?
Yeah, who were the founding fathers?
It's Florence Nightingale,
Washington.
David Bellamy.
Ainsley Harriott.
But
against his will.
The thing is, though, about this jet, it's funny. It's only, I mean, it's kind of like adverts, actually. If you ever watch adverts, every advert, I used to hate adverts. I love them now because I watch it and I'm just like, how long until I see, and I time it to see how racist the commercial is. How long until they get an ethnic diverse with a trans person in? I think the longest I've ever gone is 30 seconds. And if there's any kind of like idiot in it, if it's gambling or if it's drinking or something like that, but drinking not in a cool way, like in a gam, it's always a white guy. So
or domestic violence.
Oh yeah,
or
always.
Or sexual harassment on the tube, or anything that statistically might not be a white guy.
Did you see that advert, that commercial in America to be vigilant for sort of child abductors? And it was. Have you seen that?
Well, to be fair, most child abductors probably aren't white nonsense.
No, it's a white woman with a. You think it's a mother with her child, and all these different background people are sort of like she's scared and running away from them. But the flip side at the end of the advert is it turns out she was the abductor, and all the sort of like people that were sort of following her were trying to sort of rescue the child. Have you not seen it? It is quite mental. Yeah,
that sounds funny.
It's quite funny, but it's like and I think it's meant to be that like, we're challenging your, rather than the point of the piece being any sort of public information about. It was more about like, see, you shouldn't judge a book by a cover. That's not what it's supposed to be, but that is more pervasive in the whatever in the advert than the actual message it's meant to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
that's everything's a Trojan horse for DEI.
Oh yeah, that's what Google are doing with this thing as well. So they say that the guy Jack Crackwicks or something, he's got a Polish type name, but so he says like basically we need to we've coded it to include diversity and inclusion and stuff because people have implicit bias and these biases need to be challenged, and it's like, you can't fucking fight bias with bias. It's ridiculous. They've just
do you know racist
to sort of try and.
Yeah,
I was going to say I know them, and they don't need they're not uneducated. They are just racist. They're cunts.
Who? Racist.
Yeah, I've never met one that's like, like that. Throw in the word racist around, and it works on people that don't want to be racist. Like it works on someone who commits a faux pas. And I know it's more than that often, or it might be a microaggression. So, you call them racist and they go, oh, really? And it works. You can cancel them. But the actual people I've met, like on building sites and that they couldn't give a fuck. They don't care. Like, if you go to them, that's racist. They go, yeah, I know. Yeah. But you can't work on them. The people that actually. So that's why this is sort of like a false war. It only works on people with a conscience about these things. So
it's not so much a conscience. It's not that they've got a conscience, because people aren't acting in terms of like, their own internal morality or anything like that. People are worried what other people think of them. So if somebody calls them a racist, like, oh no, people think I'm a racist and that's a bad word. I mean, if it was 1930s Germany, people would be racist would be a compliment. So people would be, oh my god, they're not calling me a racist. They think all races are equal. This is terrible. So
That's what I'm saying. If you look at a room and you've got like the extreme, so you've got these people that are actual bigoted, racist people, and then you've got these people that when you say jump microaggressions, they say how high. Yeah, it just seems like all the fucking effort is on those people, the ones that will toe the line. They're not your problem. It's the other cunts. What are you going to do about them?
I think those people are the problem.
No, but yeah, they are. I'm saying if you take it at face value, like if you was someone that wanted to sort of like clean up society and make it more egalitarian, you wouldn't keep fucking hassling the people that do what you say. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're in a room full of people, and you've got like an actual revolution, and then some people that sort of like don't want to be seen to be revolting.
Yeah.
Like you keep preaching to the people that listen to you. It's these ones that don't listen you want to be working on.
Yeah, well, it's like when they have all these plays on at the Pleasance that are like, oh, it's got such a powerful anti-racist message. It's like, how many fucking racists are buying a ticket for that fucking play? Who's spending 25 quid on a ticket to go and see some like wanky play that's got this powerful message? It's bullshit. All this anti-racist stuff, like the diversity stuff, totally backfires. So this guy, the Google guy, says, oh, he wants to help global minorities by showing representation. It's not helping minorities. There's going to be some guy in Bangladesh who fails his exams because he's been taught by Google AI that Hitler was an Indian guy. You know what I mean? He's taught that the Vikings are fucking black. That's not helping him.
Man, you know what? All of this, like,
nuts.
Like all of this kind of like, oh, don't be racist stuff. It's actually making more people more racist because I mean, by the end of like 2000s, it's like okay, racism is kind of like there's still issues, but like most people know racism is bad. Like you say, the actual racists they're never going to change, and all you're doing now is you're calling people who aren't racist racist, and they resent it. And then, but if you're going to call me, if you're just a straight white guy and you get called racist, even when you're not racist, in the end you're gonna fuck it. People will start being racist. It's backfiring there. But the thing is, hold on.
It's making people sort of question. Like, I never really thought about it until I got called racist. But like, I just thought, skin color is just skin color. There's no differences between people. Then I got called racist, and also all this diversity stuff comes out that says, oh, there's all these cultural differences that we have to respect and appreciate and celebrate and stuff. So I'm like, oh, so you're saying there are differences now, and then
more than that.
And then you Google it, and it's like, so because the diversity people are like, oh, but the differences are all positive. There can be. I'm like, well, that doesn't really make sense. How can they all be positive? Then you sort of do a bit of research, not using Google AI because it won't tell you the truth, but you do a bit of research and you find out that actually, there are sort of cultural differences. There are reasons. Like look at why like so much of sub-Saharan Africa. Look at the Sahel. Look at Somalia, places like that. How come they have it? How come they didn't become sort of modern civilized countries the same way that like Europe did?
Corruption.
People say corruption. People say corruption, but like how does that corruption engender? What are the differences in values that give rise to systems and institutions and rights and things like that that actually uphold civilization?
I mean, okay, well, there's some. I mean, this is a bigger question. Some things are endemic, like I don't know. Sometimes white people have gone in, plundered it, put it straight to the ground. Then whatever's left, they're fighting for the scraps, and then someone's there like, I don't care about society. I'm just going to take it all.
But then white people, Britain went into India, plundered India. How come India's not like a basket case? And also, did we go into Somalia?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. We're talking like about history. I don't know shit about Somalia, man.
I know that. I know this, and this is like getting back to the bigger point. It's more than just that. There is a fucking thing, and it's because I've got a 7-year-old stepson now, and I'm seeing this through his eyes. I saw the other day when he clocked the notion that white people are inherently evil, and he looked broken. We were watching this film, and it was on Disney. Honestly, this is so true. And it was like another remake of Freaky Friday. There's a family, there's a comet coming past the planet. They all go to this observatory. I wasn't really watching it. I'm not Darius. And they all got switched, right? Then they work like the dad's in the kid's body and blah blah. Then the next day they go back to the observatory to try and switch back, but the telescope's all broken, and there's a black janitor there and this white family there, and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is broken." He goes, "Yeah, I know it was a white family that must have broke it." Because honestly, in this fucking kids film, and like this my 7-year-old boy, he doesn't get the cultural he doesn't understand what that is correcting. He doesn't understand so he just thinks, "Oh my God, am I a baddie?" And he looked at me and he looked crushed.
Man, that's just racism. It's racism, and that's horrible.
This janitor in this kids' film says, "I know it must have been a white family that broke that because black people don't go around breaking shit." On my life, it's in this fucking film.
Well,
this is why, man, there needs to be pushback in this shit. Use it. I mean, like, if you look at stuff like the Equality Act says, it's like Martin Luther King's original message. Treat people based on their character rather than the color of their skin. Now we've completely flipped, and it's like treat people explicitly on their skin color, only on that. I mean, if Martin Luther King had got up and been like, I have a dream that one day my daughters will be treated exclusively on the color of their skin and given a big leg up, I don't think that speech would have been applauded quite as much.
Yeah, he's probably still been alive.
but also
be present at Harvard.
And also they're like, actually I forgot what I was going to say. Guess what?
But yeah,
Britain did invade Somalia in 1951 and remained control until it
invade. You go there and sort something out for him. You can't call it invading. It's like 2 days a week I have a cleaner invade my kitchen. Just helping.
Yeah, we're just helping. British Empire was just helping.
Is that helping out?
Tidying the place
up. Helping them out. We get any thanks for the railways? Maybe we should take them back.
Well, I didn't even know what a bullwhip was until we went to India.
But
also the thing with this diversity stuff, the real reason they're pushing it, because it's all funded by ESG funding that comes from big corporations, big investment companies. It's because corporations, the corporate world wants open borders. It wants countries to just be sort of banal economic platforms that people can flow in and out of as the sort of the job market dictates, as the economic need dictates. Because they just want unlimited cheap labor. Even if there's enough labor, they want more because it depresses the price of the labor. They can pay less. So there's putting all this stuff. Google are putting all this stuff. Oh look, the Romans were black, the Vikings were black. You've always been black. So why? So we've got to have unlimited numbers of people coming from wherever. So it's all an economic thing at the end of the day.
Isn't it a voting thing? Saying earlier that they want it, the way that maybe certain political parties can cover. So if a party was like anti-Semitic, you would get more. Isn't that what they're doing? Like they're in America with this. Is this true that China are building a bridge? Have you heard this?
No.
There's a Panama highway that goes all the way from South America up to the United States, and there's this 60-mile gap. And apparently, China are building a bridge, or they're building the infrastructure. And a lot of these people going in from Mexico to America are Chinese. There's some bloke going around a fucking camp going, "Where are you from?" And they're like clearly Chinese, pretending they're Mexican. And they're like, "Is that true?" That sounds like not true. I will admit.
I found.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an easy way to, and this is
easy to walk in.
Yeah, and you've seen other countries. So Putin was very savvy when he went into Syria and helped Assad and kept that war going, and eventually helped Assad win the war. Assad was going to lose the war until Putin got involved, and what that did was created millions of refugees, because Putin knew those people were going to go to Europe and destabilize Europe. And he even Russia puts adverts in the Middle East and in Africa saying, we're going to fly you. We've got free flights to Minsk. We've got free flights to St. Petersburg. So get on these flights, and then we bus you to the border with Poland, the border between Poland.
And then you get flown to Rwanda. It's like a world tour for free. Great.
yeah. It's like a Challenge Annika thing. But yeah, now they got massive border walls like Poland, Finland, all these places that border Russia or Russian Federation states like Belarus. They got these massive walls because this was, Putin was using, busing hundreds and thousands of refugees to the border to go into Europe. to create a burden and destabilize Europe. And obviously, because Europe's like an absolute sucker for like DEI bollocks in the sort of corporate world that says, "Oh no, we need infinite cheap labor."
What's
So
that
they
called?
were.
But it's got a name that they bring them in so that they can vote for the Democrats or something. It's a
Oh,
policy.
yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, they do. That's why Biden.
People, will you not replace us?
Hold on, what's it called though?
Replacement.
It's called subverting democracy.
Yeah, the Great Replacement. That's it. And it's funny because like the New York Times went, the Great Replacement is a right wing myth, and then and then next month it goes, how great is that so many immigrants are flooded into the country?
Yeah, you're being replaced, and that's a good thing. So it's a far right conspiracy theory if you think it's a bad thing. It's a fact if you think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I just want to say before I forget regarding the like kids and Gemini images and race swapping and stuff. One of the arguments they do it, especially for kids, they say, "Oh well, the kids need to see a hero that they can identify with, and it helps them when they grow up." But I mean, when I was a kid, if I watched like kung fu movies, I didn't go, "Oh, I can't watch fucking Way of the Dragon because I'm not from Hong Kong and I don't look like Bruce Lee." I just thought I was Bruce Lee. I understand.
Empathy, bruv.
Yeah, I understand for little girls.
B.A. Baracus. I was always B.A. Baracus was my favourite one in the A Team. I think most people's favourite one was B.A. Baracus because he was like the strongest.
I've actually got a theory about this that might be bullshit, but I've been thinking about this. That when you grow it like that, you watch the A Team, or like when I was a kid, you'd hear the story of Cinderella. Now, I'm not a woman. I wasn't an orphan. I didn't have stepsisters that were evil, but you could empathize with her situation. You could imagine and transpose that onto your own life. This generation now have always had computer games. So they didn't empathize with a female character like they were Lara Croft, right? You inhabited them, and you can go online and you can have an avatar, and online you could be a cat, or you could... And they're doing that. I think that's where this whole trans things come from. They don't understand. You can. I feel like a woman. I am a woman. That's the difference, right?
I am a woman.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they don't think they feel like anything. They can't. And that's the thing with this. What I don't understand about this getting so fucking, like you said about Martin Luther King, so separate. Like, oh, I've got more in common. I used to think it was a good thing to believe you had more in common with someone from a different race or background. In common humanity, empathy. That's a bad thing to think. It's like, you can't speak to that because you don't know what it's like. It's like, I know what it's like to be a person, and I can imagine what it's like to be prejudiced against. I've been prejudiced against maybe to a lesser extent in some aspects. I know it's not quite the same. But if you say to people, do you know what? If you start cutting and severing those sort of like tentacles that link people together rather than strengthening them, you end up with where we fucking ended up with. Like only China have ever built a wall. Why is it now a big thing that people we need walls everywhere and border control? Nothing's changed in terms of the globe, is it?
Yeah, but things have changed in terms of mass migration. And
exactly. Why?
And part of it's by social media.
Travel.
No, it's not, Darius. You can always walk across the border, but now it's fucking America I'm talking. Now they're talking about building a wall.
I mean, in the old days, it was very difficult to get from, like, if you're in, Eritrea, it'd be very difficult to get to, like, Glasgow.
Yeah, I know that's very true, but I'm not talking 200 years ago.
You have to make sandwiches. And bear in mind, they didn't have cling
20 years ago.
They didn't have cling film.
And then a train to be cancelled.
20 years ago or 30 years ago, so the Blair government, they started the huge liberalization of the borders. They admitted that it was the phrase they used was to rub the right's nose in it. So they were bringing in voters as well as to stimulate the economy and stuff. They were bringing in people they thought would vote left wing, and that's like, it's totally anti-democratic. It's like they're saying, well, the people we got in the country, the British people, they're not voting the right way. They're not left-wing enough. They're not progressive enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in other people who vote the right way, and they'll teach the British people a lesson.
Didn't they do that in Cyprus? Like Turkey, gave people money to move to Cyprus. I've probably got this wrong because Greece and Turkey were always fighting over Cyprus. And they split it in half. And then one of them countries sent loads of their people there, and then they had a referendum. Or that was the idea. And then
right.
there's, I'll ever vote whether you want to be governed by Greece or Turkey, but one of those countries was just fucking filling it up with people.
Yeah,
I think that probably might not be true. I don't know.
That sounds like the story of Britain under the Labour Party.
The only reason I backpedaled there is because they get stroppy, don't they? I don't want no angry Turkish people after me. I'm scared of them.
We should put a disclaimer. We should put a disclaimer at the start of this, man. Everything is completely historically inaccurate. This is very much the Google AI of podcasts.
yeah. But the opinions are somewhat correct. But the Google AI, you know why it's actually interesting, because eventually, obviously now we are able to catch it and it's funny that they did this, but AI is going to change the world, and that's going to be the document of history. They're slowly phasing out all physical media. No one reads books anymore. No one has the hard copies. So this generation will know, but once the generations start moving forward, they'll be able to. We're watching history be written in real time, and the reason why Google AI Gemini is like that, because it's garbage in, garbage out. They specifically programmed it with all their own biases, with all their own, their own feelings towards stuff. And so it's going to completely be able to dictate history, because it's like in 1984, where they'd take a news story and they'd just edit it and then burn the original news story. And eventually that becomes the history of the thing. So you don't know what the actual history. And we're seeing that.
Of Alexandra.
Well, we're seeing that. It's like we're seeing it with, like, they're pushing down statues. Fair enough, if you disagree with Colston or whoever it is, put a disclaimer. Say, this guy did that, but he also had, this is what else he did. But to burn it down and completely erase history, we're rewriting history in real time. And AI is, at the moment, it's still in its infancy. But it's very dangerous, because it's going to be like history will be erased. Like Leo says, it's a one world kind of government policy. It's all kind of entwined, where there'll be no border. Well, they want it to be a one world government. That's the policy.
So you can't celebrate George Washington without saying he owned slaves. But then you've got to celebrate George Floyd and can't say he held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. Like it's all one way.
But you know what's interesting though, is the people are pushing this most, and this is what's interesting to me. Let's be honest. So this is the Jack Kridrick guy, whatever his name is, from Gemini AI.
Lisa Kudrow.
Here are some of the tweets he's found. Right now, this isn't like Leo or you or any just like middle class white guy, right?
Did you call me middle class? I like that.
Well, but the thing is, this guy's obviously like in the 1%, really, when it comes to earning potential money. So none of the things that he's imposing on others is going to affect him. It's not going to lower his standard of life. And he's like, white privilege is fucking real. Do your part. And he's programmed all of this in. And all it will do is just to lower everyone's standard of life. He's not doing this because he actually cares about, this is purely performative virtue signaling, but then later on he programs it into Gemini, and it's just creating division but rewriting history, in my opinion.
And what's dangerous going forward is, at the moment, the AI is really open about its bias. Like when people query the AI, it says to them, oh no, I'm programmed so that, I've got to prioritize diversity and inclusion. So even though you've asked for a picture of a white Roman general, I can't provide that. I can provide a Chinese one, Native American one, and all the rest of it, but I can't provide a white one, even though that would be historically accurate. So it's open. It tells the user about its bias, because obviously the people programming it thought that
no one's going to ask.
It's a good thing. So why would you hide it? Now that there's been a backlash, they're going to hide that bias. They're not going to tell the user, oh no, I can't show you that because I've been programmed. It's just going to be something that's baked into the system.
Yeah, censored in the back end, and you don't know what you're looking. So then you can't even trust what you're looking at. And then if someone puts another narrative up, then they'll say, oh, this is misinformation, false news. You can't believe anything you look, read, see, or hear anymore.
It's getting to the point now where if you speak or search the truth, they attach an ulterior motive to it. We just want to know the truth. So have you seen this thing now about malinformation?
No. Misinformation.
Yeah, that was the thing, right? Misinformation. Now, Google have updated its services and it's going to include malinformation. Do you know what malinformation is?
Is that
No.
bad information
Information,
for bad reasons?
malinformation might be true, but it might be harmful. So you can have your channel
No
Honestly, look it
way.
up. So what the fuck? That's what this Google AI is doing. So now they're going to go, that's malinformation. Yeah, okay, loads of people did die from the vaccine, but that's not helpful. Look it up. It's a new, I know it's not a new word, but it's now entered the
Man,
fucking arena.
this stuff,
Malinformation is going to get you struck.
it's so dangerous when you move away from just fact and truth
Yeah,
to this sort of when people are trying to trying to
and they're doing
create
it in
a
every
worldview.
arena as well, Leo. It's every arena. Science is even moving away from fact. When you get
Oh
these
man,
high
yeah,
priests,
totally.
when you get, dude, you know, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson going, what does it, why do you care? It's like, what do I care for man's a man?
Yeah.
You're a scientist. That's all you
Yeah.
fucking care about is facts, you idiot.
Like going back to the sort of start of empirical science, like if you're going to elevate ideology over truth and ideology over fact, then you're basically saying, yeah, no, you're right to lock Galileo up in the tower.
Yeah.
Because
I believe.
he was right when he said that the Earth goes around the sun, but it went against the ideology, and the ideology is a positive, beneficial thing that makes people feel good. So we should definitely lock Galileo up.
Do you know what, Isaac Newton? I reckon if I sat under a tree and an apple fell off, it would go up. No, it wouldn't. What do you care? Why do you care? That's how I'm presenting myself. 80% of me believes that gravity goes up today. This is fucking about truth and fact and provable things, repeatable experiments. And it's just everything. It's like if the fucking scientists are getting involved in the politics of gender, you're not a scientist.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of what science is, right? It should be.
Well, talking about science and misinformation, I don't know if you've heard of a gentleman called Christopher Langan. I found out about him this week. So Christopher Langan, he's been reported to score very highly on tests, and he's got one of the highest IQs in the world, between 195 and 210. So he's super genius. But if you scroll down on his Wikipedia, his views. Langan supports support of conspiracy theories, including the 9/11 truther movement, that states 9/11 was an attack staged by George White, and the white genocide conspiracy theory, as well as his opposition to interracial relationships, has contributed to gaining a following among members of the alt-right and others on the far right. So I had a look into his views, right? And surprisingly enough, they mostly align incredibly with
this is Darius Davies' neo-Nazi origin story.
Yeah.
I'm not a Nazi, but there's there's never a good look when you have to defend yourself about. I'm not a Nazi anymore. I'm all right. But but this is the thing. Some of the views, like some of the things they're lying about, are so obviously lies, right? And then the middle people, I saw a funny bell graph, like dumb people believe in conspiracy theories and really smart people believe in conspiracy theories. And then the people in the middle are like, oh no, believe whatever the government tells you, like they're going to tell you the truth. Obviously,
are we really thick or really smart?
I'm clever enough to know I'm thick. That's what I always say. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm stupid, and I think that really stupid people don't know it, do they? That's the danger.
Yeah. I'm clever enough or stubborn enough not to have got the COVID vaccine, and I don't regret that. I thought that Christopher Langan guy was kind of interesting.
The best protection against myocarditis is a tinfoil hat. That's the only way to protect yourself, apparently.
But
if you've got, so it's going back to, if you've got malinformation, right? Then on the other side of the coin, this just occurred to me, there must be the opposite, which is sanctioned falsehoods. So if you've got sort of like verboten facts, then there must be. They're just getting to the point where they can just say anything, and you've got to fucking swallow it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what Google AI is. They're saying, all the Vikings were black. All the Vikings were black.
But it's not new. It's not new because going back to the Roman Catholics, 300 years after they killed Christ, they said, well, we need to be the voice of authority. Let's go and set fire to the Library of Alexandria. And they went and they burnt it down. But the Vatican took all these books, apparently, a load of them, and put them in the Vatican. And then, so that's what this is, isn't it? This is burning everything that you think you know up to a point so you can reset and then impose your worldview.
Yeah.
So it's just now digital. That's all it is.
And I think now, like, man, people are gonna start buying books again. It's like because you won't be able to trust anything that's on the internet.
I've got a Screwfix catalogue somewhere knocking about.
Man, I think record collections are coming back. People want
I've got
craving, but people are craving physical media because if you've got all your stuff on like digital Spotify or all your movies on it, they can take them down, they can remove them. So there's 28 days
or
later.
Censor it.
Well, exactly.
Even that.
28 days later is not available to watch anywhere online. It's that like film about an outbreak.
Zombies.
Zombie outbreak. And
is it not?
It's not available anywhere to watch online.
I'm sure I watched it on Netflix.
Google it. Well, I'll Google it right now.
Is that because of a COVID thing? Or?
Well, it's just not available, but it's just a point that like they removed it. They can remove.
That's not censorship. That's just the rotation of.
Yeah, but the point is the rotation of these things. That's what they're going to say, and then you'll be like, "Did I actually even see that film? Did this actually happen?"
Well,
so I think people are. So yeah, it's just not available anywhere except on Prime Video. So other than that, it's not though. It's not though. Look, this video is currently unavailable to watch. In location. So it's not actually available.
Anything in the cloud is also completely at the mercy of the Mandela effect, isn't it?
What's that?
They can just, the Mandela effect.
I mean, it might be available online. I might have just lied.
Yeah, but they reckon it's to do with the LHC. Have you heard this one?
Large Hadron Collider.
It's the Mandela effect. People remember something about Mandela and he didn't actually do it.
Mass misrememberings, and they think that the scientists have opened up like a wormhole and they're going back and fucking with us and changing little things like deleting the monocle off the fucking Monopoly dude or the Pringles guy. And it was like, what? No. But the big one is Sinbad was in a film called Shazam. And loads of people... Yeah, and it's not real. Everyone's like, I watched it. No, there's no fucking... But like millions of people watched it and now it's like, no, it's never... And Sinbad's like, I weren't in no film.
Who's Sinbad?
He's an American comedian.
Stand up, yeah.
I know. Is he good?
Have you ever heard the Norm... Oh, it's a boring story, but Norm Macdonald's my favourite. It's got a Sinbad anecdote that was quite funny. But yes, so they reckon... What about the LA? They don't help themselves, do they? So at the Large Hadron Collider, they got like a big statue. Is it Shiva?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then they did a human sacrifice. Have you seen? You must have seen that.
No, what is it?
Fucking hell! So at the Large Hadron Collider, there's a human sacrifice in front of the statue of Shiva, right in the grounds of the CERN, and like this nerd's filming it out the window, going fucking hell, oh my god! And then they go, oh yeah, we were just messing about. It was horseplay gone too far. But I'm thinking. But if you were filming that to fucking go viral,
watch it.
You wouldn't swear. Have you never seen this?
No, let's watch it.
This is in front of the statue of Shiva at CERN, mate, the goddess of destruction and creation.
All right, let's watch it. This video contains...
The Guardian.
Must be true.
So it's eyes wide shut type people.
They actually kill a woman. But they reckon this is them fucking about. Scientists don't fucking about. The nerd.
Yeah, so there's a CERN statue, if you're listening to this.
No, Shiva.
There's a Shiva statue outside the CERN. There's 1, 2, 3, 4... Well, this doesn't look like a...
Druids.
Why would you do this then? They're just like Druids.
Yeah, this isn't playing around. Nobody does this to play around. Where do they get... You don't get cloaks. Let's get long black cloaks
listen to the bloke filming. He swears, and if this was meant to be a prank, you wouldn't swear, if you know what I mean, because that would limit your audience online. Listen to this guy filming it.
And who's this a prank for? Unless they...
Fuck! Shit! Fuck!
Man, we just saw human sacrifice in front of a Shiva statue at the Large Hadron Collider.
This? Is this to sort of chum the waters so you don't know what's an old bit of fish? And do you know what I mean?
Man, hold on. Let me just read this.
This is to summon Satan through a wormhole.
Spokeswoman at a high temple of particle physics suggests scientific users of the Geneva facility let their humour go too far with staging of occult ritual. Come on now. Like, did you remember when there was that concert? What was it? The flipping in Texas and then he did all that kind
All
of mad,
Satan stuff, and someone got
yeah,
crushed.
and yeah, so many people died. It's like, why are they doing these things for humor? If not,
It's more, human beings and symbology is it's so weird when you look into the history of how important to us symbols are. Like, like the Nazi, like, like the Antichrist their symbols are upside down pentagram or an upside down cross. The swastika it's an anti-swastika. He took that ancient symbol and inverted it. And you go, that doesn't mean anything.
In like Hindu places, like in Bali.
Yeah, but he inverted it. There's something about to human beings. To me, I don't give a fuck. Like some go, that symbol, I don't really. But it's in human history. So much stuff has been done. And they do. My point is, and I'll sort of get into it, is like people go, oh yeah, they wouldn't do that. Or why would they always put messages in? Like I've heard people say about that concert. You're talking about Darius. Yeah, but why would they put little clues? They do. Humans always have. Do you know what I mean? Humans there is like the Freemason symbol and this and the triangle with a fucking eye in it. They just always do. We do as a human thing. We go, and this is the thing about the moon. They go to the moon.
Hold on. Can I just say one thing? The most disappointing thing about this, if that is a true thing, is that it turns out that Shiva is the actual god. So we've all been praying to the wrong god.
Yeah. But have you seen, so I'd say, because I'm an out conspiracy person. I am. One, I go along with conspiracies I know are bollocks because they're fun, but two, I believe a lot of them as well. So I've got a little bit of self-awareness. So NASA today, Friday to whatever we're recording this, have landed an unmanned thing on the moon, right? Well, not NASA, a private person has, is it? Someone has.
Oh, yeah.
So I've seen people online going, oh, I hear all the moon landing conspiracy people are a bit quiet. Like, as if like them landing an unmanned thing on the moon in 2024 proves they landed manned in 1969. Doesn't,
yeah, and
that's
also,
like saying,
also
that's like
as if this thing actually landed. Did you watch it? It was like CGI. It looked like
pathetic.
It looked like when they made Star Wars but added in CGI bits.
I saw someone India one looked so shit.
I saw someone post, oh, it would have been easier to land on the moon than fake it. We didn't have the technology. I'm like, have you not seen 2001: A Space Odyssey? And they reckon Kubrick was involved in it. What are you fucking talking about? And that's like going, oh, have you got an iPhone? Yeah, well, I suppose you now think those things they had in Star Trek were bollocks, were they? It's like, yeah, that was fucking 50 years ago. And that was fictional. They just can do it now. Didn't mean we did it then. Just got to
also, Kubrick made Eyes Wide Shut as a sort of cry for help because the satanic rituals he'd been involved in when they made him fake the moon landings, and that's historical fact. You can Google AI it.
Well, you know what? You know Vicky, Elsa's friend, who we're going to get on the podcast. She is a high class escort. I think is a nice way to very funny. Very funny. But she. Her clients are very rich, deviant men. Apparently, she said she went back to one guy's house, like multi-millionaire, right? Coked up and all this stuff. And he pulled out something called the Grand Grimoire. And it's the thing she's like, and she's not naive. She's been around stuff and she's seen a lot of stuff, right? So they pulled this thing in.
Baggy Minge, just say it.
She's fit. Grand Grimoire. This guy pulled it out, and she said she felt a malevolent, dark force, and she like genuinely felt something evil. Like,
have you heard Bill Gates' missus talk about Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
She says that. She goes, he walked in the room, and I was just like, I've got to get out of here.
Oh yeah, but this is from.
But is she saying that now? Is she saying that now, or was she saying it back then? I bet back then she was all like,
"Well, she's
Jeffrey's a great guy. I love his.
No, I don't know, but she was like, "No, I just knew, and I didn't like that Bill was, friends with him."
The Grand Grimoire is a
I'm googling it.
Is a black magic.
Oh right, yeah. Again, a symbol. There are powers
to summon the devil, and then also in the Motley Crue Dirt autobiography. One of them says they were like at their house and they did something like this. They performed some sort of occult mystery. I think it was Mick Mars or it might be Nikki Sixx. I don't know who said it. And he said, listen, you believe it, take it as you want, but we did this, and he felt something, and it was terrifying, and apparently Vicky said she saw it. But I mean, when you see stuff like them doing the eyes wide shut thing outside of CERN, how is that? Why would you do a
And
hoax
why,
like
Darius?
that? Yeah.
Why? They're funded. Do you know what I mean? It's only going to cause pain and hurt them, isn't it, in the long run? It's not fun. And it's like it got out. It wasn't like they put it out. It sort of leaked out slowly, which you wouldn't do a soft launch if it was a deliberate. It's fucking weird that they do it.
And also, the way you say it's a hoax.
If you're going to do something as a prank, it's like it's a really elaborate prank. Everybody's wearing identical cloaks. Like you'd have to order them specially just to do this horseplay where you pretend to like sacrifice someone. It's like, nah, that's not a prank.
If there were such things as Satanists, they would be the ones bashing particles together. They would be, because that sounds like how you would open up a doorway, doesn't it? That would be them that did that.
Every film where a portal opens, you know what I mean? It's never like a portal to somewhere nice.
No, it's also to let that cunt with a fucking deer. He's got little deer legs come through. He's also got hooves and little hairy legs like Darius.
Talking about
Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Talking about a portal to somewhere nice. Let's go somewhere a little bit lighter. This week, did you, Justin? I don't know if you saw. We're gonna have to censor this. There's circulating on WhatsApp now. I
did see this. This was straight from the FZ, mate. This is not my jam.
The Pleasure Boys XXL tour online.
That was like a fucking Thursday night in your flat, except with women superimposed.
Shall we share the video of them of what's going on?
No, you know this isn't news to me. I've seen.
We'll have to
put it on the Patreon. Put it on the Patreon one.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna put the Pleasure Boys on tour Patreon. But anyway,
I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about the fellas in it. They'd all been to Claire's accessories. Did you notice they had hair bobbles around their cocks?
Yeah, that's what they do. I saw a documentary about strippers, and they do that to make all the blood stays in their cocks.
Semi. But you wouldn't need a semi, apparently.
On the documentary I saw, the guy put it on too tight or left it on too long, and he couldn't like put it off, and his cock, something went wrong with his cock.
You watch a lot of documentaries on ex-hamster, Leo. That's actually the new Vice, isn't it? It's like the ex-hamster.
Then I had to use coconut oil in my hand to like help him.
Talking about Vice is finally shutting down, is it? And
what about the Pleasure Boys? I thought we were going to
I thought we were going to watch that on the Patreon or something.
Well, just say this is the Patreon now.
This
is now
that's a fair point.
All right, well, okay, listen, if you want to hear about the Pleasure Boys, which you're going to watch in its entirety.
Big old dongers.
If you want to see... Sign up to the Patreon and you can get to see all the dongs.
This is Darius grooming for his flat. This does feel like I'm involved in... I don't know if I want to be.
It's good content.
It's fucking recruiting new members.
It's good content. It's good content. It's good content. Wait, before we go, you wanna say anything about Vice? Vice is finally shutting down, but I thought they shut down ages ago.
Well, it was founded by Gavin.
That's
McInnes.
right. Yeah,
what's his name?
Sure.
Yeah, Gavin McInnes.
I'll tell you what. Like, I mean, I don't always align with. He's very funny. Like he's funnier than most comedians. I find him very good at riffing.
Because when he started Vice,
his sidekick Ryan is really funny.
When he started Vice, it was like a countercultural thing, and obviously now that's become the mainstream culture. So then he started like the Proud Boys.
Which was I mean, that's the thing with him. He's a very controversial figure. But that is the point. Now, I used to be very much into the punk scene, and now I'm a fucking. I don't know. It's so strange how it's switched round, isn't it? Like Vice used to be, like you said, counterculture. Then they became like they would now be peddling malinformation. You know what I mean? Like shills. They became shills.
Yeah, the reason why is because Vice became big, making these kind of interesting.
But then cast Gavin out, who made it big.
Yeah, because they wanted to monetize it, but then they're monetizing it by selling it to the brands. But the brands obviously don't want to be associated with like how you can piss in public and not get caught.
And now it's dead.
I saw a
And
wicked.
also the sort of the business model of these sort of content makers, because it was like BuzzFeed and all this stuff. They monetize themselves off the back of Facebook and off the back of social media. So they got
Yeah.
like huge. But then Facebook was like, "Oh no, we want that money," and they
Yeah.
choked them off.
Well, then they put advertising like things on, like we can't be associated with this. So then the people who watch them, what created them in the first place, are these interesting underground stories that people are like, wow, this is cool and interesting.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to talk about that because then they had to adhere to advertising and what's that as DIE or whatever it is and or whatever it is. So then the stories got boring. So the people went away. So then the advertisers lost. So they were chasing a dragon that wasn't there. But I remember I saw a really funny one of Gavin McInnes. He's walking with his dick in a coffee cup, but you can't see it down the street. And he goes, "This is how you piss in a coffee cup." And he's just walking down the street with his dick in a coffee cup, pissing, just talking away like he's on the phone, and no one notices. You just wouldn't notice it. It's really funny some of the ways he pisses in public. So anyway,
Scottish.
yeah, well, so Vice is now apparently shutting down for like the 14th time. They're firing everyone. But listen,
Was it Shane Smith he founded it with, who stayed on? Was it? Or was he gone as well?
I don't know who Shane Smith
It's
is.
a bit like basically the point is, if you get something like Jezebel, right, that was this sort of like quite extreme feminist publication, then stops being feminist to make more money, you lose your whole audience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what Vice seemed to have done. It's like, we're counterculture. Oh, now we're going to go to the, we're going to toe the line and be monetized, but then you're nothing. They
were counterculture, and then like, so they were sort of, well, they weren't really woke. They did like really good reportage, going to war zones and stuff like that. Then they totally took the side of like the wokeists and the.
I'd say they used to be more about the underbelly, didn't they? I wouldn't say they were political. The underbelly of stuff, wasn't it? Oh, we're going to look into human trafficking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
man, this all comes down to that Frank Zappa quote. It's the best quote anyone ever said, Frank Zappa. And he said, someone said to him, in fact, I can find it. We've got it on the thing. This is the best thing.
Good, I'll Google it.
No, we can watch a video. Frank Zappa.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was a plant, though. You know, his dad was in the CIA or something, right? You know that, yeah?
Yeah, his mum's Fidel Castro. We should do the Patreon version, because I got to go soon.
Well, just watch the Frank Zappa thing, and then we'll do the Patreon version.
Yeah, but I got to go soon.
Well, all right. Hold on. That's 1 minute long.
Tell us the thing.
An unusual or experimental nature did get recorded and did get released. Now look at who the executives were in those companies at those times. Not hip young guys. These were cigar-chomping old guys who looked at the product that came and said, I don't know. Who knows what it is? Record it, stick it out. If it sells, all right. We were better off with those guys than we are now with the supposedly hip young executives. And he's saying, well, we can't take a chance on this because it's just simply, that's not what the kids really want, and I know. You know, and they got that attitude. And the day you get rid of that attitude and get back to, who knows, take a chance, you know, that entrepreneurial spirit where even if you don't like or understand what the record is that's coming in the door, the person who is in the executive chair may not be the final arbiter of taste of the entire population.
My skin became addicted.
Don't worry while I'm watching skincare routine
My skin
videos.
became a what?
Also, Darius, you need to learn the difference between a quote and a fucking monologue. That was well long. That's not a quote.
That was the Patreon episode.
No, listen, on that note, go over to the Patreon episode where we're going to be talking about the what were they called? The Lover Boys or whatever in
Party Boys.
Yeah,
Pleasure Boys.
The Pleasure Boys.
Oh, hang on, Ronald.
Pleasure Island.
As someone's grad, and we've got some other stories that we can't talk about. Like and subscribe. Don't use the code 3SP on highpoint.care because you probably will get ripped off. We've kind of come
What that guy? I
don't know.
Where do we get our money?
Where's our money? Luckily, we've got all our money in free merchandise, but you might not. Anyway, thanks for listening. March 8th, I'm doing a gig with Count Dankula in Birmingham. And next weekend, if you're in Leeds, I'm doing Hate and Live, or we're going to call it the Ultimate Comedy Roast Battle, where you choose what we roast, and it's going to be fantastic. So come to that. Thanks. Anything to say, Justin? Anything to say, Leo?
Nope.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's an innocent man.
Oh, Just quickly, back in the old days, in the 60s and 70s, you had record executives that would, they were in their mid 40s to late 50s. They'd have cigar. No, I haven't got anything quick to say.
Bye. Finish.